is running out at the Valley. This is their last season with a Premier League parachute payment to soften the blow of relegation. When that money runs out, financial reality kicks in, and last season's mid-table finish has to be improved. Reading were stunned by relegation in May on the last day of the season, but 3 years ago they took the Championship by storm, and they're looking for an instant replay this time. When Reading left the Championship, they were so good they were promoted by March. Many of the same players are still around and kicking today. Charlton underperformed last season, and 2 defeats in a week in the Carling Cup and League have dampened optimism around the Valley. They need a boost today. In the Coca-Cola Championship, it's Charlton Athletic against Reading, live from the Valley on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. That's channel 408. Charlton make 3 changes, including Yassin Moutakil. He replaces Semedo at right back. He's a French under-21 international. Nicky Bailey came from Southend for £750,000 this month. He makes his home debut in midfield, where he'll benefit from the experience of Matty Holland, who's recalled to the starting lineup today. Now 34, he was Charlton's Player of the Year last season. Reading keep the same team which beat Plymouth last week. Marcus Hanneman plays his 81st straight league game in goal. He's kept more than 100 clean sheets for Reading. James Harper is also making his 81st league game in a row for the Royals, a man much in demand. Middlesbrough apparently have expressed strong interest. By common consent, at least 12 clubs in the Coca-Cola Championship expect to be in the top 6 this evening. This season, Charlton and Reading are most definitely amongst those number. With us today, Graham Murty, who's sadly not playing today, injured. And I know you said when you first came in today, you said, I'm going to be really grumpy today because I'm not a good watcher and I hate being injured. How bad is the injury?
Oh, it's nothing spectacularly bad. It's just a little calf strain, but I just can't seem to shake it off at the moment.
And when do you expect to be back?
I expect to be back today, but it's going to be another week or so before I can join in training. Once I join in training, I've got to try and get myself back in the team, but the way the boys are playing, it's going to be extremely hard.
It is, but what's been the message from Steve Coppell this season to all the boys, who've really been shocked by relegation, I would imagine, still?
Day one, he said, I'm here to get promoted. If you're not here with me, you might as well leave right now. Everyone wants to be a part of the team, everyone wants to be in the squad for the manager. And I think you see today the kind of characters we have in the squad. They're very strong and they want to take us forward.
Are there some players in the camp who expect to be in the Premier League and think they should still be there?
That's gone. That's gone. There were people all through the summer, I'm sure, expecting big bids. Didn't happen. And fair play to the lads. Everyone's come in and put in their pound of flesh in pre-season. They've worked extremely hard and no one's been divisive. No one said I'm too good for this place. They've all just knuckled down, and fair play to them.
Because you'll remember, many of us still do, the way you took this championship by storm a few years ago. Is that been talked about, how you dealt with it last time?
It's been talked about outside the group. The manager knows that you're never going to replicate that season. All we've got to do is make sure that we are consistent, and if we look after our own performance, then hopefully at the end of the season we'll be up there.
There's a good relationship, isn't there, between the two managers, Steve Coppell and Alan Pardew. Steve Coppell is almost a mentor for Alan Pardew, isn't he?
There's a lot of respect there, I think when you've got a manager like Steve Coppell, he's very cerebral, he passes a lot on to his players, and I think you can see his influence. It's rubbed off on a lot of players actually, not just Alan Pardew. There are other managers who've had Steve Coppell as a manager, and I think you see in him a little bit reflected. It's a good thing for him, I think. I think it gives him a little bit of a buzz when he comes up against people he's managed.
OK, let's hear from Alan Pardew now. He's with Greg Whelan.
Alan, of late you've been having to sell players to balance the books. How much tougher do you expect this season will be for you?
Well, I'm hoping we do better than last year. I think we didn't get it right last year, and this year we were a lot younger squad. But by all means, they could do better, and we hope they do. We've certainly got some great young players here, and 2 or 3 on show today.
It was just the 9 wins here in the league at the Valley last season. To what extent is consistency at home a top priority for you this time?
Well, last year this was a problem for us here. We drew some games we should have won, and it cost us in the running. I think the good start we had against Swansea, if we could just get another win today, would be good for us, because your home form is absolutely essential if you're going to get promoted.
Today, of course, you're up against your old club and a former manager. How much have you been looking forward to this particular fixture?
Well, it's a fixture that the fans don't let me forget, and I'm sure they won't today. The Reading fans, that is. I'm looking forward to it because it'll be a great game. I think Steve's team's set up the same as myself. We're on the front foot, we're trying to win the game, and I think that's always a good attitude to bring to a football match.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you.
How important is this season to Alan Pardew, do you think, as a manager and his CV?
Well, knowing Alan Pardew as a dude, he'll have been stung by the criticism he received last year. And there's no one wants to succeed more than him, because he thinks he's got what it takes to manage at the top level. I agree with that. I think the team he's going to put out today is going to reflect his character. And hopefully it's just going to be today that he's going to have a bad day.
And the finances are so important, aren't they, Graham? You know, this is their last year for parachute payments. It gets harder after this, doesn't it?
It does indeed. You can't go out and shell out a lot of money like he's done on Nicky Bailey. You can't pay the wages that players demand. And teams consequently find it very, very difficult to attract the talent that they need to drive them on and drive them forward, so they have to look in different routes. We've been very successful looking at our Irish connection. We've bought some really, really outstanding players from that. And
another one this week from Cork.
Absolutely, he's fitted in straight away. But we rely very, very much on our scouting network, and teams unfortunately have to do that because they can't compete with the Premier League.
I know you stormed it a few years ago, but it is so competitive now, isn't it? It's probably got more competitive than the last 2 or 3 years as well. And you know, I said 12 clubs expect to finish in the top 6. It might be 14 expected as well. There's so many.
We played Nottingham Forest first game of the season, and Colin Calderwood came out and said, we expect to be challenging, we want to be up there. So everybody needs to be up there, everybody wants to be at the top of the division, because the Premiership is such a massive, massive goal. And if we can get to the Premier League as a team, then the financial rewards coming into the club are so vast that chairmen and managers all around the leagues are desperate to do it.
You know, I was at the LMA Awards dinner, the League Managers Association Awards dinner, where Steve Coppell, your manager, had won the Manager of the Year award 2 years running until this year, you know, when relegation suddenly hit it. It must have hit your manager hard, as much as the players.
I think you saw at the end of the season, he took a long time to decide on his fate, whether he was going to leave the club or whether he was going to stick around. And I think the only reason he would have left was if he didn't think he could take the club forward. Now, when you have the backing of the chairman like he's had the backing of the fans, he's got the backing of the players, he's still got something to prove, I think, and that's good for the players, it's good for the club, and we're still fully confident he's the man to take us on.
OK, let's hear from Steve Coppell now. He's with Greg.
Steve, you've recently spoken about the mental toughness that players need to succeed in this league. It's very early days, but how do you feel they're handling it so far?
Well, it was a big test early on, I think the first week, because there's been so much speculation during the summer months about departures and grass being greener, and you know, the challenge now is very much set before us. You know, the pride of all players demands that they perform, and we've done okay so far, but obviously still early days, you said, still to get into any kind of a rhythm to establish where we are in the division.
Well, talking of a challenge, what challenge do you feel you face here at the Valley today?
Well, we know it's going to be tough. You know, Alan Pardew, we know very well that obviously the next manager of Reading, I'm sure he'll be preparing his troops to have a real go at us. And that's what we expect, I suppose, as a relegated team. Everyone wants to use us as some kind of a yardstick. For our case, we've got to be sort of insular and look within and just take care of our own game without getting involved in anything else.
You mentioned Alan, he was your player at Crystal Palace for several years. What's it actually like to cross swords with him now as a manager?
Well, I do it a few times this year. You know, there's quite a few with Chris Coleman and others. I don't know, I always think it's a buzz for any manager when you see players go on and do good things, and then when you see players graduate and become managers, then you think, well, that's really good, and I take great joy in any of my players who've gone on to management in football and they were doing well. So, you know, Alan's ticked all the boxes so far.
Steve, thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
It's rumoured he smiled 3 years ago when he got promotion.
Briefly. It doesn't do emotion really, but no. Underneath that dour exterior is the heart of a fierce competitor who'll be desperate to win here today and get one over on Alan Pardew. And
a very down-to-earth man, isn't he? As you can see every time you hear from him, you know. And he's not a bit selfish, is he? I mean, he's an inclusive kind of person.
Well, what he tries to do, he takes a lot of pressure from the media onto himself and keeps his players protected, which players appreciate. But he's never been one for history on it. He's always just down to earth and concentrating on the job in hand, and that keeps us level, keeps us grounded, and keeps us focused on the job, which is vital for football.
Talked about the staff and the players, Graham, but how are the fans taking relegation? What's their mood this season, do you think?
The few that I've talked to are actually quite looking forward to it. They think it's going to be real football again, at a real level and at a real affordable level, which is key to them. And hopefully we can repay that by putting in some good performances. I do realise that there's going to be a massive level of expectation on us this season, but it's just something we have to deal with.
Obviously, you'd probably win more games than last season, won't you? That's for starters.
It wouldn't be hard to start off with, but we've got to make sure that we approach the game as though we're going to play Man United. we'd be selling our fans and ourselves short if we did anything else, you know. We don't think we're too good for this league. We realise it's going to be a long, hard slog, but as I said, we're fully prepared for it.
Yeah, sounds good. OK, let's join our commentators now. It's Gary Birtles and Ian Dark. Let's get the team news.
Thanks a lot, George. How times change. A year ago, Reading had just drawn at Old Trafford. 2 years ago, Charlton were playing Manchester United this very weekend. Can they bring back the good times? Well, Charlton moved out 15 players in the summer, and it's a new-look side with 3 changes to today after defeat at Watford last week. In come model pro Matt Holland, teenage left-back Grant Basie, and Moroccan-born right-back Hassan Moutawakil, with Rakan injured, Yuga suspended, and Semedo dropped. The Vultures have been hovering around relegated Reading, but most of the Premier League side are still on board, even though Dave Kitson and Nicky Shorey have gone. S.Hunt's doing well as an emergency left-back. 5 of this side were away in midweek on international duty at various faraway places with strange-sounding names. The Charlton bench includes their youngest ever player, 16-year-old Jonjo Shelvey. Darren Ambrose is back from injury. Reading deciding not to blood their new signing, David Mooney, the Irish League top scorer, yet another signing from Cork City. They'll have to wait to see him. Well, the Charlton fans sticking by the club. 21,500 they had for their opening day win over Swansea. Season ticket sales down a bit, you'd expect that. They're hoping that this new side can come good. Reading fans are here as well. It's a weekend when most people are staying in Reading or going there for the big Reading Festival. I'm told the Killers are the headline act there tonight. Don't know if the players are going to that. See how cool we are in the Sky commentary box these days. Sunshine. Yeah, that big yellow thing, which we haven't seen for a while, is appearing in the sky. Tense times in the tunnel. What do you think today then, Gary? Good game this, by the look of it.
Certainly looks it. I mean, it's a fabulous surface out there. Big, long, wide pitch. Perfect for these two teams. Both like getting it down, play football. Interesting to see the young team, the different team from Charlton, see how their mindset is. It's the last year of the parachute payments for them. Desperate to get out, and Reading, how fractured are their egos, having been relegated from the Premiership. They've started the season well, to be fair to them, and look like one of the favourites to go back up.
Just speaking to one of the Reading players beforehand, he said, we're looking to get back to where we belong, but they're going to have to earn it. They're unbeaten so far this season. Charlton won their first home game. It's an attractive looking match at the Valley, and it comes up live right after this break.
It's Charlton against Reading in the Coca-Cola Championship, live from the Valley on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. That's channel 408. And down the years, it looks like this between the two clubs. They've played 30 times in the league, and Reading have the edge by 3 over Charlton. At Charlton, it goes to the home team 7-4 over Reading in the 15 games they've played. That's all history now. It's the present that matters, and our commentators are Gary Birtles and Ian Dark.
And hats off to Charlton Athletic. Following the spate of knife and gun crime in London, they are offering vigorous support for a campaign called Street Violence Ruins Lives, a logo on the players' shirts today, and this campaign is being taken into the schools of South East London and Kent.
17, Chris Dixon, and 23, Joseph.
Well, here's a player who'd never ever been to the Valley before today. Nicky Bailey signed from Southend for £750,000. He made his debut away at Watford. He said he only just about knew how to drive here. Glad he found his way in time. He's an energetic midfield player, and I hope he'll offer drive from the centre of midfield. Leroy Lito was on loan here last season, scored 3 goals in 8 games for Charlton, which was more than he managed for Reading, where he was very much out of favour last season. Alan Pardew, who reported sick this morning, he's just about made it to the dugout. Feeling a bit of flu, he said, so keeping his distance from the players. Did he do the team talk on the intercom, I wonder? And Steve Coppell, usually impassive self. It will have hurt him deeply that Reading, rather surprisingly, did go down back to the Championship last season. And he'll be glad, I think, when the transfer window closes and he can keep these quality players he has on board.
Yeah, that's always the problem when you get relegated. The vultures start circling. They want all your best players. You can understand that. I said before, it just depends on the mindset of the players remaining. And I think the bunch of players Steve Coppell has believe they can go straight back up, still want to be part of this Reading team.
Reading, by the way, yet to concede in the league this season. Charlton, of course, in their red shirts on a perfect pitch at the Valley, getting us underway with temperatures up around 70 degrees and the sun streaming down. This is more like the start of the season.
You come to expect as a player: sunshine, cricket season, torrential rain, football, glorious sunshine.
Sonko getting away for Reading. He got both the goals in their win over Plymouth last week, having sorted out his cold war with the club at the end of last season. Refused to play for the reserves and got banned 2 weeks.
Well, that is out of order. You sign a contract. If the manager wants you to play the reserves, you play the reserves, no matter who you are. My old teammate, when he signed for Nottingham Forest, a first £1 million player, he was told to make the tee, and he played in the A team down at Nottingham University. Trevor Francis. Never hurt him.
These managers have a way of making their point, the toughest ones anyway, and effectively too. Varney won it back there for Charlton Athletic. His hammer, Bouazza, didn't work out for him, did it, at Fulham, but he was promoted with Watford from this division.
I think it's vital to get the ball out to him quickly, and Sam on the other side. Two really good outlets. A wide pitch, if they can move it quickly, 1 and 2 touch. Move Reading around a little bit.
The long-serving Fortune. Played in towards Varney. And Holland win it back. Yes, he did. Very well for Charlton Athletic. Now here's Bouazza. Gray's made a run to the near post, but he's not found.
That's disappointing. They get it out to him quickly. 1 touch is good. The second ball is not good. Too close to the keeper.
Fair to say the Charlton front pair yet to fully settle at the club. Haven't quite produced the goals they did at their previous clubs. Burnley in the case of Gray and Crew Alexander in the case of Varney.
It takes time. Partnerships don't always gel automatically.
Difficult bounce for Jonathan Fortune. Leroy Lita making his presence felt. Those two, of course, would have been together here at the Valley last spring when Lita had his loan spell. Know each other from the training ground. Convey with a little flick. Hacked away by Moutawakil, the Moroccan-born French under-21 defender. He's been brought in to add a bit of pace down the right-hand side for Charlton, replacing Semedo today. Convey. With S.Hunt.
It's the way to introduce yourself to your opposite number. Time it to perfection, take him with it.
Lita battling away there. Can he get the better of Moutawakil over there? In the end, Charlton smuggled the ball away. Reading will be highly fancied, won't they, this season in this division? Because, I mean, you think a couple of years ago they were finishing 8th, 1 point away from qualifying for Europe in the Premier League, and most of the players are still around.
Whether they can keep on to them before the transfer window closes is another thing. Harper, a lot of speculation about him. Hunt, Doyle, another 2.
It might be a double-edged sword if somebody like Doyle was to score a hat-trick on telly today with all the other managers watching. This is Rosinha, and there is Doyle. And he didn't get his shot away, not properly anyway.
Well, that should have been the first one of his hat-trick there if he was going to score it today. It's a terrific opportunity.
saying, other managers have been sniffing around Reading. I know Middlesbrough were very keen on James Harper. That didn't happen. I think Bolton were interested too. He stays at Reading for the time being. And various clubs, of course, looking at Kevin Doyle. But the goals did rather dry up for him a little last season, it has to be said. It's good work that by Hudson. It might be an important signing for Charlton. He had a great year, I thought, with Palace last year.
Yeah, steadies things up at the back, no nonsense. He needs to get rid, he gets rid. Defenders should do.
Jimmy Cabey. Holland picking it up. Nicely done off the chest, that by Gray, and then overhit by Nicky Bailey.
There's the man who perhaps should have put Reading in front. Rosini does well, gets forward. Not the greatest of crosses, slightly behind him. No real conviction behind it. Gets in the area in the end, slightly behind him. Just no conviction to go through and follow through with the shot.
And just 6 goals last season. Was poor in comparison to his efforts the year before that when he came up with 13.
Believe me, as a striker, not scoring goals, you do get a little bit nervy in front of goal. You don't follow through with things as you normally would do when it's going for you. We saw that with Doyle with that hard chance.
Hunt took that early. It's too long for Lloyd. Sam over on that right-hand side. Charlton do have an interesting substitute today. Their youngest ever player, 16-year-old John Joe Shelby, who I'm told's looking electric in training. And Alan Pardew said you will more than likely see him before the game's out.
Well, we can all look electric in training, believe me. No pressure in training, is there?
Harsh.
True.
Let's see what he does when he comes on, if he comes on, of course. Foot was up there. It's going to be a Charlton free kick. They beat Swansea 2-0 here on the opening day, then lost 1-0 at Watford, and sandwiched in between was a rather embarrassing home defeat against Yeovil in the Carling Cup when Alan Pardew played quite a few of his reserves. Didn't work. This is into the danger zone. Sonko won the header. Bouazza, I think, was hoping to get the corner.
I think we see there why Sonko is so important to Reading when he's in there, dominant in his own box, but when he goes forward, as Plymouth found out to their cost, he's dominant in there as well.
Bouazza. 2 former Fulham players together there, him and Liam Rosinia. Reading, remember, won 4-0 on the final day of last season at Derby, but it wasn't enough with Fulham winning at Portsmouth. Doyle. It was a bit of a miscue, I fancy, but it found Stephen Hunt anyway. In towards Doyle. Here's Andy Gray, the former Burnley striker, to Luke Varney, who did such great things at Crewe. Got a cross in, and Charlton can keep the attack going here with Hammer Bouazza. Holland is waiting in the middle. Easy for Stephen Hunt, but his header only finds Nicky Bailey. Here's Lloyd Sam. Indy Marson got it away. Bailey, who does have an eye for goal. In fact, he was Southend's top scorer last season from midfield. Here's Cabey. Looking to run the teenager Basie. Lovely trick. Cabey, chance! An important save that by Weaver, but a really good piece of play down the right by Jimmy Cabey.
You love to see players do that, have the confidence to run at defenders, take them on, commit them in the box.
Bit of old-fashioned right-wing wizardry, wasn't it?
Terrific.
Mutawakil. Sam with the cross, decent looking cross too, and Reading happy to head that behind. Sonko there again, his aerial presence.
Well, you have to reiterate how important he is in there. Lovely time ball, great ball in, Look at Sonko, takes no chances over his own bar. Look at Kebby here, lovely bit of ability, drives it near post, but Weaver stays big, stays on his feet to the last minute.
Yeah, it's a good save that from Nicky Weaver. Here's the Charlton corner kick. It's a poor one, easily away by Ingi Marsson.
Tell you what, that's what annoys managers and coaches more than anything, when you get a corner and they do that. Below waist height, takes the pressure off.
And it happens all the time too.
We thought it might be open, it's certainly proving to be that so far.
It's a high tempo game despite the high temperatures. Maybe playing it forward. Sam wide, Mutawakil urged to get forward at every opportunity and get crosses in. That's what he's been brought into the side to do today. Sam. Bailey very much in the holding role in midfield. That's a lovely ball from him to find Mutawakil, and the cross is too near the goalkeeper. Otherwise, textbook stuff from Charlton.
Well, you can see why they've paid the money out, can't you? Look at this for awareness. Timed the run perfectly. Just the quality of the ball lets them down in the final third. But that ball is as good as you'll see.
Classy ball that from Nicky Bailey, the midfield player. Charlton fans, for those who didn't travel to Watford anyway, getting their first look at him today. Nicky Bailey, who used to be a bookmaker, so could tell you that both sides were 13-8 to win today's game.
But he's not had a bet on it. Bookmakers never out of pocket, are they? Well, you see the importance of the pace of Hunt there, getting back to deny. Certainly looks like they're trying to play on Hunt at the left-back position. Of course, he likes to play further up the pitch, and so far, a lot of the attacks have come down the right.
Needs must really for Reading, with Nicky Shorey gone. We have Scott Goldborn in reserve as a left-back for the future. Again to the near post. Varney might have got on the end of that, he did, and it's come out here to Bailey again, who's made a good start on his home debut for the club.
Well, two corners on the trot haven't been the best, have they? Same side.
I just wondered there, Gary, whether Varney might have got on the end of that one, though.
Well, sometimes when they're not that good, defenders don't deal with them particularly good. Sonko and Marsson are so dominant in there, they expect the ball to be put in the central area of the penalty box, and when it comes to the near post, it sometimes can catch you out. He's all over him there, isn't he? Tries to stay on his feet, and then Holland just comes in and does the rest.
Free kick 30 yards out here for Reading. Doyle on the back post. Watch Ingi Marsson, who's useful in the air, and Sonko, who scored twice from set pieces last week against Plymouth. And he might be the target. He's deepest of all for Reading here. Now making a diagonal run. Played in by Convey, and it was too long for everybody in the end.
And it was Kebe at the far post, wasn't it? That's annoying as well. There you see, he's isolated at the back post. Had the ball been a good one, header across the face of the goal, could have been 1-0 up. Too much pace on it.
Bailey. Bouazza given lots of time to control that. Took advantage, and it's a great run. Bouazza! Oh, it shaved the post. In fact, it hit the post on its way out. An electric piece of play by the winger.
What a ball by Bailey yet again. Look at this for ability. Sonko should have closed him down there. Didn't. Allowed him to run at him. Gets in the box. Can't touch him. Outside of the left foot. And that just scrapes the outside of the post. Can't touch him when he gets in there. Terrific ability here. Just cannot curl it with the outside of his foot in that bottom corner. Been impressive so far, Charlton.
It would have been his first goal for 11 months since he scored against Manchester City in the Premier League for Fulham. That he deserved one for that.
He did, but you just worry about the defence at the moment. Sonko should have closed down. He wanted to play head tennis with the ball, and he was still 10 yards off him.
Just said thanks very much, didn't he? And went about his business in emphatic fashion, it has to be said. Nearly stunning fashion. Here's Harper. By Basie, and left back who's replacing Kelly Yuga today. Yuga was sent off at Watford last week, so a one-game ban for him today. Holland, good ball at Mutawakil. It's cut back, but there's nobody in that area for him.
It's noticeable, Charlton going down the right flank every time. I know they've got Bouazza on the other flank, as we've seen so far, causing problems.
Charlton have lost a lot of players. Bouazza, the big defender, Marcus Bent, Chris Obalumu, Paddy McCarthy, Andy Fight, Jerome Thomas, Chris Powell, they've all gone. It's a new look Charlton side, but they feel that they've got enough about them to maybe be a factor in this division this season.
I think they possibly thought it needs freshening up. Too many players are still here from relegation. Let them go. Let's build anew.
Bailey, Hudson, Bouazza, three of the new boys in the side today. S.Hunt given a lot of time to line up a cross. Maybe a little too much. Ingi Marson back to Hunt again. He looks more comfortable when he's playing further forward, his usual position, of course. Sonko won the header. Here's Hunt again.
Well, there we see the dominance so far. It's been evident.
All the signs here, though, of what might develop into a good battle between the sorcerer, Steve Coppell, and his apprentice here, Alan Pardew. Of course, Pardew used to play for Coppell, didn't he, as a player? Scored that famous goal in that FA Cup semi-final against Liverpool, the 4-3 one back in 1989.
I'm sure he learnt a lot off him as well.
Lita, nice lay off that. Here's KB again. He's already taken on Basie to good effect once down the left-hand side. It might have made the young left-back feel a little tentative about life. What do you think?
Sure, possibly has, but
Gray with the knock-on towards Varney. Important for Charlton that those two link up to good effect this season. Certainly got goals in them, both of them. They've shown that in the past in their careers.
Needless. Going nowhere there. Just like the makeup of the Charlton side, what I've seen so far. In 20 minutes. Confident, it's fresh, it's bright. Good outlets on both flanks. And that man has been very impressive. Holland will help him in there. I think he'll cajole him. He'll say, right, you get forward, I'll sit here. Let you go and do what you do best. And if you need me to get forward, I'll get forward as well, and you hold for me. A lot of experience in there for Bailey to glean off.
Mind you, Matt Holland could do with a goal here. He hasn't scored at the Valley for 4 years, would you believe? Mutawakil taking the throw for Charlton Athletic. It costs the club £400,000. They have hopes that he might settle into a really good attacking right back for the club this season. Bouazza now. Nice and positive, those two players. Nearly found Bouazza again, it's still made! And it broke through in the end to goalkeeper Hanneman, who was grateful to grab that.
So incisive again, isn't it? Just loves running at defenders, plays the ball in the grey, tries the reverse ball, They nearly get a bit of luck there, but he just turned his back there, Bouazza. But again, he'll go outside, he'll come inside, and that's so difficult for defenders to cope with.
Just thinking Marcus Hanneman there and James Harper were at Reading when Alan Pardew was the manager at the club. A reign that ended, of course, in acrimonious circumstances with threats of injunction and garden leave and what have you.
No need for it, is there? Just get on with it. That's football.
I think he knows that he's not going to get a great reception from the Reading supporters today.
Can't see it, can you?
They've got long memories, haven't they?
Football supporters have.
Varney plays this out to Bouazza, who started brightly. Holland's made a run to his outside. He's just been forced a bit wider than he would want. And the ball is still in play, believe it or not. KB couldn't keep it in there.
Despite Charlton being on top, they've weathered the storm so far. They did that on the first day of the season against Nottingham Forest. Got a good result there.
And they've got a few players around who would fancy themselves to maybe just nick a goal. Doyle and Leiter, notably.
You've got the face of Leiter. I think it's a big season for him. A lot's been expected of him. Not quite delivered. But it's there. It's in him. He wants it enough.
Reading have only won on one of their last 10 visits to the Valley. Drew 0-0 last time they were here. And Leiter got himself in trouble in that game for a headbutt, which was picked up later, and he got a 3-game ban. He butted Talal Al-Kakori, the defender. Leiter. Now Convey. It's come up by a fortune for Charlton. These two of 16 former Premier League sides in this division looking to get back into the big league. An awful lot of them have found it mighty hard to do so.
I think it's all down to how the players feel once you get relegated. Yes, you're going to be on a downer, but you have to get yourself out of that frame of mind. You have to say, right, yeah, we've been relegated, we can't do anything about it. It's another season. Let's just go out and just believe we can get back in it. Because if you don't, and your head goes down, you feel sorry for yourself, you've got no chance.
And a break start vital from Reading's point of view. Done okay so far this season. 4 points out of 6. Here's Bouazza. No problems at all for Marcus Hanneman there. There was never much chance that Hanneman was going to go, was there? He's part of the furniture at Reading, isn't he?
Seems to be. And what an amiable fella he is. He walks in, he's got his music in his ears, and he's always cheery, always says hello. He's one of those infectious characters and rubs off on the players.
Sonko can clean this up, back to Hanneman. He's a bit of a petrol head. He even mended the team coach once on the way to an away game.
I'd like to have seen that,
actually. Later on today, from this division in the Championship, Plymouth Argyle at home to Swansea City. Swansea have played such great football. They played here on the opening day, made a thoroughly good impression despite their defeat, and they've won since. Always good to watch. Should be a good game, that.
I think Swansea could make an impact in this division this season.
It's up towards Leiter. He's good in the air from that kind of situation, as the Charlton fans will know from his loan here. Did seem to lose his way as far as Steve Coppell was concerned there last season, didn't he?
Yeah, it makes you wonder what went on there, whether it was the attitude or not. Steve puts up with melodramatic superstars and egos.
Well, he said when Nicky Shorey left, didn't he? I only want people who want to play for this club.
I think every manager wants that. In today's football, it's not always possible to have that. You can understand players wanting to play at the highest level. You get relegated, and if a club comes in for you, then suppose you can't blame them for going back to the Premiership.
Here's Bouazza now, raiding for Charlton, taking on Rossini on this side. Rossini did well to get the block in.
He did do well that time. He's got to get a little bit closer to him. Giving a little bit too much time and space to run at defenders. Tries to find the referee there, so it's a corner.
It's a long one, usually dealt with by Sonko. Nicky Bailey looking perfectly at home at this new level. He was a conference player 5 years ago. Coming down at Gander Green Lane as well in non-league football for Sutton.
Well, it just shows you, if you get talent from non-league, just believe in the talent and give them a chance. He just wants the ball all the time, doesn't he? He can't get enough of it.
Mutawakil wide to Sam. Those two working well down the right-hand side. Here's Mutawakil into a good area. And the goalkeeper got his tips to it. Couldn't quite fall to Varney. Charlton were nearly in business. They still might be. Varney deflected. This time it is in. And it's Matt Holland with his first goal at the Valley for 4 years.
Well, that's made your day, hasn't it? First goal in 4 years. Now delighted is he, but it's down the right flank again. What about Wakil again? Hanneman loses it, I think, in that shade, but it's put right across. Now he's put it to a good area. Deflection just deceives Hanneman there, but a good midfield player like Holland, he gambles. You see, just gets a slight deflection off the heel. That deflects it enough, and Holland, full of experience, follows the ball in, expects something to happen. Simple tapping, but you have to believe that that is going to happen.
Well, I knew the moment I'd mentioned that earlier, that he hasn't scored at the Valley since April 2004, that it might happen today. And it did too. It was also his first goal of 2008.
Well, I'll tell you what, down that right flank, they picked Hunt out, unfortunately, and this is not having a go at Stephen Hunt because he is a quality player. But it is so difficult when you've been a forward-thinking player to play in a specialised position at left-back. I always say I had one go at it, replacing the great Stuart Pearce for one game against Danny Wallace of Southampton, if you remember him, in his prime. And I got turned inside out. And I got dragged off after about an hour. That's how difficult it can be. And if managers pick you out, as I think Alan Pardew has said, right, let's test him out. Good player that he is, he's not a natural left-back. And Mutawakil is getting forward and he's delivering quality.
You also lose, of course, what he offers a bit further forward.
Yeah, of course.
Compy's been doing well in that position, to be fair, this season. Can play on the other side as well on a pinch. Picked up by Cisse. Here is Stephen Hunt. It's a great boost, this, for Charlton Athletic. Hunt playing this one in again, and well reached.
Well, you see the difference there. Weaver comes out in the sunshine, he knows what he's doing, but that ball that came into Hanneman's box came in at a height with pace, and it entered that shaded area, which I think just caught him out. Didn't get anywhere near it, but then they did defend it well again after that.
First time Reading have conceded in the league so far this season. They did so at Dagenham and Redbridge in the Carling Cup, it should be said. I'm told that leaves Watford as the only team in this division already yet to let in one. Convey, can Reading bounce back from that? Away by Hudson. Gray battling away, but Sonko's got it. Enough, despite his trip to Tripoli in midweek. Ibrahima Sonko for international duty didn't actually play against Libya in the end, so it was a long trip for, well, not for nothing, but you know what I mean.
What a waste. But you have to say Charlton deserved to be 1-0 in front. Looked the more likely. Kebe had that half chance, as did Doyle. Charlton going forward on both flanks looked very, very dangerous. If you don't close that down, as Reading haven't done sufficiently well, then you'll get punished.
Here's Varney, hoping that Sam could make a run into that area down the right-hand side. The Charlton supporters, who might have been a bit downbeat be encouraged, but they've got work to do defensively here. Here's Doyle to play one in for Reading. All the way to Keevy, who got on the end of it, and Weaver had to get down sharpish. It was as well, Keevy didn't really get hold of that.
Well, this is where Doyle's good. Runs the channels well, gets beyond the defence. Not many bursting into the box. Kebe's one of them. It's slightly behind him again. Can't get the contact he wants, and comfortable for Weaver.
Missed by Ingimarsson, not by Sonko. But they've been really at it, as the pros say, haven't they, Charlton, here?
They have. It's just incisive football. There's a belief out there now. There's a freshness out there. I said before, I think Alan Pardew thought it was time to get rid of some of the experienced campaigners who he probably thought were getting a little bit stale.
Here's Convey. Doyle playing it in. Kebe couldn't quite reach it. Here's Liam Rosinia. Way too long. Nothing doing for Reading there.
Well, there's the man who's put his team 1-0 in front, but there's a lot that wasn't good about the defending there. Alaman loses it, but look, nobody comes and breaks the neck to close down. Nobody comes out. A lot of time, a lot of space. Lucky deflection there, deceives Hanneman. But look at the closing down, there isn't really any, and in the end, Holland gets the lucky tap in that he's gambled on. You have to close down quicker than that.
Whistle's gone. Charlton are going to get the free kick. The Charlton have looked good down both flanks going forward today, with Mutawakil overlapping, Sam doing some good work, and Bouazza very positive on the other flank.
Well, I think you look at the three teams that went to the Premiership last season, all had the ability to do that. West Brom, Stoke and Hull, all had decent wide players. It's great when you can switch. If you've only got one natural winger, then it's difficult. You can play against it.
Well, one in the air, that by Fortune, picked up by Khalifa Cisse. It's his second season with the club, Cisse. There's Mutawakil again. Bailey. It's not going to find Bouazza this time.
He's not afraid to use that crossfield ball, and he's used it on 3 or 4 occasions. A couple of times it's paid off, and when it didn't, nothing wrong with it. At the moment, Charlton are just doing the basics better than Reading. The closing down, the hard work.
Well, Pardew said at Watford, even though they lost last week, his side put in what he called an honest shift. He's perfectly happy with what they've done. They were down to 10 men as well for a fair bit of the game.
That's what managers look for, first and foremost, an honest shift. Do the hard work, the first 25 minutes, get your first tackle and your header, close the opposition down, don't let them play. I think they've done that again today.
He did add that once or twice last season he wasn't convinced that his team had put in an honest shift, particularly late in the season when they rather lost their way and fell away from contention for the playoffs. One in the air by Harper. Cisse. Here's Jimmy Caby. Convey and Doyle on the turn, goes down in the penalty area, and it is a penalty. Reading get a penalty.
Lee Mason right on the spot, and this all comes from Basie chasing the ball. Then we see it's rebounding off legs. There's the contact there, difficult to see from that angle. He gets the ball away, there is contact there after his toe end gets the ball away. They get the little bit of luck there, he's going away from goal. There is contact, but there are a couple of bodies in between.
It was Mutawakil with the challenge. Lee Mason, the referee, pointed straight to the spot. He was almost standing on it, when he gave the decision. It's going to be Kevin Doyle with the penalty kick, looking for his first goal of the season. Up against Nicky Weaver. And he's hit the bar with it. Charlton escape. Played back in again. And smuggled away. It's still bouncing around dangerously, and Mutawakil is happy to give away the corner. Real drama there.
Well, goes for power, just smashes it down the middle. You just wonder how fragile his confidence is with the lack of goals. He's got to recover from that now.
They do have a corner kick here. Harper playing this in. Well defended by Andy Gray, the striker, and the break is on here. Charlton with Lloyd Sam. And it was Convey who got all the way back to dispossess him.
Well, that's what Steve Coppell will want to see, that sort of desire from Convey. He sprinted back, spotted the danger, and did a magnificent job for his team.
Well, that's lifted the decibel level again here at the Valley. A missed penalty from Kevin Doyle for Reading, who won't be entirely happy with their work in this first half. Keve, again, that good trick of his. Lovely quick feet from him. Back it goes, Cisse. Wonderful block from Holland, who would have felt that.
Keve's produced the best moments for Reading in this first half. He looks a little bit green at left back at the moment, getting caught out of position a few times. Caught for the penalty, he was chasing, closing down, and ended up near the centre circle. The ball got played into Aid, actually come from in that left back position, and then they got the penalty.
Bouazza's ball is a good one to find Varney. He's not got a lot of support. Gray's arriving. Varney goes alone. It is Varney, and it took an important save from Hanneman to stop it being 2-0.
It'll be long before we see Steve Coppell on the touchline from what he's seen so far. All too easy for Charlton to get into Reading's penalty box at the moment.
Reading giving the ball away, perhaps a little too easily for Steve Coppell's liking as well. Sam into Gray. This is Basie, the teenage left back. Good ball for Bouazza. Both strikers waiting in the middle. Here's the cross. Gray with the header! Difficult because he had to put all the power on it himself, and he couldn't get quite enough.
So difficult to generate that power, and it's slightly behind you. But again, Bouazza, outside of his left foot, causes a problem for Reading yet again.
Decent match in the sunshine here in southeast London.
Just a totally different Charlton Athletic side to the one we saw last season. I just hope the Charlton fans buy into it. Better from Sonko. A little bit off the pace, he's not closed down as well as we're used to seeing him.
Is Holland. Interesting ball. Might have produced something, but nobody quite read it.
Movement from Charlton at the moment, they're causing all the problems. Mutawakil's getting forward, causing problems. Sam, Bouazza on the left flank. Bailey's causing all sorts of problems in the centre of midfield.
Hunt gets it away. Looking as comfortable at left back, understandably, as he did as a marauding left-sided midfielder in the Premier League, attracting some quite big interest. Here's Bouazza from range. I think it was always going wide.
But again, he's got the belief to have a go. Why not from there? Not a lot of options for him. Just opens up, they back off, and he thinks, why not? Let's have a pop from there. Got Hanneman scrambling across.
I think Alan Pardew will be pretty pleased with the shift his side are putting in. They went on to win in 15 of 24 games. when scoring first, but they didn't do it 9 times. Steve Coppell, face like thunder, but sometimes he looks like that when his team are 3-0 up. Gray couldn't go for that, he was in an offside position. Here's Varney. It's not quite the ball that Jonathan Fortune was expecting, and he just has to mop up the best way he can, which is reasonable enough from Charlton's point of view. That will have been a stunner for Reading, offered that lifeline in terms of getting back onto level terms, and it not taken.
It's one of those penalties that you've seen referees give one week and not the next. Doyle was going away from goal.
Lita. Convoy, I should say. Needed a convoy of people to support him, perhaps. S.Hunt, dispossessed by Lloyd Sam. Seemed to wait a long time for his chance at Charlton. Varney, lovely turn of pace, goes down in the box. The referee takes a look at it, and he's not going to give a penalty on this occasion. Was he going to say it's outside? Is he? What's he giving here? He's pointing to the spot, you know. Well, he ran over there. He had a look at the scene, the crime scene, you could say, and said penalty.
Well, here he goes. Unleashes the pace there. Where's the... Oh, that is so close. Little nudge. Is he in the box? There's the arm. And there's the heavier arm. The linesman had a good view of it. I thought he was running across to ask him. I don't see how he can give that penalty when he's ran that far. He was a long way behind the action. It had to be the linesman who gave it, surely.
Sonko's little nudge on Varney, but the ref's given it. Penalties at either end. Reading couldn't take theirs. Can Andy Gray do it for Charlton? You bet he can. 2-0.
He can take a penalty. That's how to do it. Total conviction. You don't stop them with that pace. Bottom corner. Terrific. But I'm sure there'll be questions asked. Nothing wrong with that. You can only go and put it away. I'm sure Reading won't be pleased. I think it was the distance the referee was away from the actual incident. I think that's what Reading might be disappointed with.
Means that Gray scored in both home league games already. 2-0 to Charlton Athletic. And it feels like double trouble now for Reading. Misplaced pass from Cisse. Of course, worth pointing out with that penalty incident that if it was on the line, that counts as in the area.
I was just worried about the first contact where did it happen outside the box. There was certainly contact after that. Just wondering about Ian Mason's position, how far he was away, and whether he could actually give that or whether he ran. Because I thought he was running straight across to the assistant to ask what he thought, and then he gave it.
It's quite a first half here. Charlton 2 up, but it's only kind of half the story, really. Ingimarsson, Sonko with the header. Ingimarsson going forward. The referee did seem to have a glance at his linesman on that side, Andrew Sainsbury. Here comes the cross in. Charlton get it away. Now then, here's Bouazza. Taking on Cisse for pace, fancies himself. It's not quite Usain Bolt, but decent turn of foot.
Marvellous defending there, stuck with him.
is Lloyd Sam, who's shown some class. Looked quite silky on that right-hand side of midfield for Charlton. Holland, nicely measured for Bouazza again. Into a good area. Gray couldn't quite get there ahead of Hanneman, but the idea was excellent.
It was a good idea, but Hanneman read that very well.
Hudson won the header. So good with Matt Lawrence for Crystal Palace last season. They kept a lot of clean sheets. In fact, Palace had the best defence in the league statistically. Lita. There's Khalifa Cisse. Kebe. Doyle. Need a magic moment from him. Hunt deflected. Corner.
Well, I think with that penalty decision, you have to give Varney all the credit there. I don't think Sonko expected that burst of speed. He got in the box. That's the important thing.
That's an encouraging thing for Charlton as well. They've got a bit of pace around the side. But it's Reading with the corner here. They need something. It's been a nightmare half for them, really, one way and another.
Well, a missed penalty. One that they're going to question as well.
Convey played in there, and the header is a beauty. Sonko again. He got two last week, and that was a picture book header from the big defender.
Well, he's atoned for the penalty, hasn't he? This is just absolute perfection. Not the best corner, wasn't dealt with very well. Slow coming out now. Nobody presses the ball yet again. One look just puts it in the danger area. Too deep for me, and allows Sonko to do what he does so well. Look how he attacks this. 2 against 1. And the blue and white one wins hands down. Beautiful header.
That's a fantastic header.
Well, you saw Weaver just rooted to the spot, no chance.
Well, Reading have scored 3 times in the Championship this season, and Ibrahima Sonko's got them all.
Yeah, that's what I say about him. He's so dominant in his own box, but when he gets in the opponent's box, he's a massive threat.
Well, it was a header of almost Michael Ballack-like precision and power, wasn't it?
Terrific. And Alan Pardew must be a little bit disappointed with the way his team defended that.
Sonko didn't win that either. Charlton might be in business again. Reading defence rocking and rolling a bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's better in the opponent's box than he is in his own at the moment. Sonko, he's all over the place at times.
Goal for Matt Holland. Penalty for Andy Gray. Missed penalty for Reading. And then Ibrahima Sonko making it 2-1 to give Reading hopes for the second half. It's nicely set up here. It really is. Was there quite enough incident for you there? Sonko giving Reading a lifeline just before the break. But at half-time here, Charlton 2, Reading 1.
Goes without saying that Graham Murty, the Reading captain, wasn't the happiest man in the ground until a few seconds into stoppage time there. We'll get Graham's views in a few moments on a really open first half at the Valley. Reading looking down and out at 2-0, but grabbing a lifeline there with Sonko's goal, and a tale of 2 penalties to come as well when you come back. Good news is there's more action from the Coca-Cola Championship later today. It's Plymouth against Swansea, newly promoted, 5:15, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Here at the Valley, it's 2-1 to Charlton against Reading, and the Coca-Cola Championship looking every bit as competitive as it did last season. Tremendous first half, Graham. I know you're seeing it from a very specific angle, but it was really open and entertaining stuff, wasn't it?
It was great to watch, wasn't it? I think entertainment for the masses. There was lots of attacking football, lots of incident, lots of things to talk about, and just can't wait for the second half to start, to be honest.
Yeah. Were you upset by the first goal? Matt Holland puts one away. Was it?
Yes and no. We're always upset to concede a goal, but I think looking at it there, we're in a really, really good position. Defensively, we're all right. They're going to cross the ball in, but there's still a lot to happen for them to score. If anything, that's a miss-hit that skews it a little bit. But then Charlton just react. They get a lucky break there, another lucky break. But it's a reaction again. They've had a good reaction to a couple of fortuitous incidents.
Through the legs,
they tended in the back of the goal.
Yeah.
But then, as a manager, as a captain, as a player, you want a reaction from the players, and the lads didn't moan about it. They got on with it, went down the other end and got a penalty.
Yeah, through Kevin Doyle, no doubt about the penalty. I think it's all straightforward, this, but there is a little sting in the tail at the end of all this. This is a pretty straightforward part, no doubt about the penalty, really.
Not for me. I think if you look at Jonathan Fortune there, you're always guided by the player. Look, turn around, no, please don't give it. It's a definite penalty, and then...
That's straightforward as well, although it's a bad miss. He just hits the crossbar. But if you look at the Leroy Lita, just down there, the bottom of your screen, Leroy Lita. Now, is he trying to shoot and is he pushed?
I don't understand why Leroy Lita wouldn't hit that shot there. If you know him as I do, he lives to score goals, and I wouldn't see him giving an opportunity up to score a goal there. So we'd have an appeal for it, but I really can't see the referee giving it just after we've missed a penalty.
10 seconds after.
No. We did well there to keep the ball alive, though.
Yeah.
We kept it alive, made another chance. We're a little bit unfortunate.
And then they go down and get a penalty at the other end. Now, this is a bit more debatable. Now, again, you're seeing it from your Reading point of view, fair enough. But you know, as a Reading captain, why would you think this is not a penalty?
I just think I don't think he's got clean air between him and Big Ibrahima. I don't think he's away from him at all. It's a very, very well taken penalty. But I think if you look at Sonks, he's in not a bad position there, and I just think it's fairly weak. I think if it was given against me, I would be straining to maintain the respect for referees thing that we have to do and not shout at him.
Good
but
man, yeah, I like that.
You have to do it, and once again, it's been given. The lads haven't fretted about it, they haven't bawled about it. They've just got on with it. And
you've been more animated.
I've been an absolute nightmare. I told you I'm not very good at watching football.
But then you've got a goal back, you know, a few seconds into stoppage time.
Yep.
This is so crucial for the possible course of this game, isn't it?
Once again, it's almost a broken play because the cross wasn't great. But if you see Big Ibba at the top of the screen, he's on the move, he runs forward, and I think in that situation there's no stopping him. He's just fantastic at that.
Will he feel because of the penalty he's got a point to prove? He looks so determined there, doesn't he?
Well, I think it was a case there. The ball was going in the net, and anyone who got in the way of him was going in the net as well. But he might be feeling a little bit angry. I don't think he's got anything to feel angry about, but he's given us a great lifeline back into the game, because if they go to the break with a clean sheet, it puts a whole new dynamic on the game. But we're back up, we've got something to play for again, and no doubt the manager was desperate to get him back in the changing room.
Absolutely. Still all on the table now at 2-1. Certainly for the neutral, it's been a great first half to watch. For those allegiances to Reading and Charlton, it's still all in the balance at the Valley at half-time. Premier League action tomorrow for you. Manchester City against West Ham United, 3:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And on Bank Holiday Monday, Portsmouth against Manchester United, 7:30, Sky Sports 1, HD1. I'm glad to report that the summer has finally arrived in Britain. A nice warm day today, and we're getting a bit, well, you're getting a bit hot under the collar watching your team play. It's very difficult for you, isn't it?
It's hard when you can't influence what's going on the pitch. It's all very good supporting your team and being positive for them, but you want to be out there and helping them out.
Yeah. And how do you think the second half, what will Steve Coppell have said in the dressing room, do you think?
I think looking at it, there's goals. There's goals to be had. I think, unfortunately for both teams, but from my point of view, we created good chances, missed a penalty unfortunately, but there are definitely goals there. We've got to continue retaining the ball, move the ball quickly. I think we can cause some problems.
Late goal there for Reading puts the game in a different perspective altogether. Will Charlton be very much aware of that you go in with kind of your heads up?
I think they know that. I think they're going to expect a backlash from us. They're going to expect a response. It's down to us not to disappoint them now. But it was key, I think, for Big Sonks to score there, because that's giving him a bit more confidence back again. I look for him to have a big second half.
Well, certainly it was a big first half for everybody watching here, really enjoyable. It's 2-1 to Charlton as we go into the second half, and the commentators once again are Gary Birtles and Ian Dark.
Thanks very much indeed. Central character in the drama here, Ibrahima Sonko, specially asked for that number 31 shirt, not the number 5 anymore this season. He said it was his lucky shirt in Brentford. I'll tell you something, things have certainly been happening for him this season since he put it on.
Well, it works, doesn't it? Feels confident and comfortable with it.
Scoring that vital goal for Reading at the end of the first half, also giving away the penalty. Replays tending to suggest it was on the soft side, perhaps. Debate. We already have, really. 2-1 to Charlton. Great first half here. Really was. Here's Lloyd Sam.
Well, we saw how good the Championship was last season. It started off in a similar fashion again.
Varney on the chase. This turn of pace causing the Reading defence one or two problems. This could be a big season for him. Maybe that was a settling in season at championship level last time round for Luke Varney.
He certainly looks mobile enough, he looks confident enough. I mean, to open his legs like he did against Sonko there, I think it took him a little bit by surprise and maybe caused that penalty incident.
Come a long way since he played for Quorn in the Midland League up in your part of the world, Gary.
Midland League, that's where I used to play for Longit United, the same league. No longer exists, I don't think, the Midland League. But again, it's about people taking chances with people like Varney and giving him the opportunity to get out there and prove they're worth a place in there.
Mario Gradi certainly did that at Crewe. And he got the payoff. I think it was a £2 million fee in the end. It's John Ball.
Talking about that, I was talking to Russell Slade, the Oval manager, and he was talking about some of the players he's taken from non-league who are now looking particularly good, and he said the higher opposition are looking at these players, so it's worth taking a chance now and again.
Fortune into the danger zone towards Gray, bouncing around dangerously. Varney was there again. He had to go backwards and couldn't really direct his header on target.
It's a long ball that deceives Reading at the back. Lovely header back across the face of the goal. It is slightly behind, but Hunt does enough. He does well. He doesn't get a header on it. There's the intelligence of the ball back, and there's Hunt. Just a little tap there.
Convoy and away by Hudson. Bailey with a bit of a miscue, but Holland's picked it up. Now he's lost it. It was won back by Harper. Convey.
What a block by Bailey. He's paid the price for it. That's hurt it.
She's writhing around on the floor, and Reading have sportingly kicked it out, spotting that.
Looks like he's
Nicky
on.
Bailey.
It's in agony, doesn't he? It's a really brave block. Throws himself right into the firing line.
Let's hope that isn't something to end Nicky Bailey's involvement on his home debut. It looks like it's his arm they're looking at.
Oh, look at the bravery. Convey sets himself up for the shot. Look at this for bravery and desire. Terrific block, and he just gets caught at the end with the follow through. There's the block. Does he fall on it?
I think Convey's boot actually made contact with his arm as it came through. He would have felt that all right, because he really did go for the big power driver.
Well, initially it does hurt, but they're pulling him up with his arm that's hurt, so it's all right.
They were just checking, I think, initially there, the physios, to check there was nothing. It wasn't a broken arm, which happily for Nicky Bailey, it isn't. Been a bad break in every sense for Charlton, because he looks like he might be a useful signing for them. He was certainly useful at Southend last season.
Definitely. I think he realises and appreciates the chance he's been given, and he wants to grasp it with both hands, and so far in this match he's impressed.
I think he might have the bruise to show for that, though, tomorrow morning, if not now. Fortune won the header, the big defender who celebrates his 28th birthday today. You know the present he wants. Ingimarsson with the header. He's been a great servant, hasn't he, for Reading? Ivar Ingimarsson, Steve Copper's first signing.
It's that partnership with Sonko, isn't it? It's been so rock solid in recent years.
Doyle works hard and well for Reading there.
On his own. Nobody came to help him, did they?
Back to Stephen Hunt. Deep to the far post. Kebe was there.
And that's what you get from Stephen Hunt, that quality, that delivery.
Can Reading go on to complete what would be an astonishing comeback here from 2-0 down? It's 2-1. And maybe the momentum is with them, having got that late goal in the first half.
Certainly looks that way at the moment.
Hunt with the in-swinging ball. Kebe looked to flick it on the near post. Bouncing around dangerously. Charlton scramble it away. Well, they can't get out at the moment. Rosinia lays this forward. Hunt's gone out to the right-hand side, still there from the corner. Weaver, they clapped it into him. And it's going to be a... What's he giving here, Lee Mason?
Has he done?
What has he done here? He's not given another penalty, has he? Weaver looks dumbfounded. He has, you know.
He has.
That is a stop. I can't believe that one. I really can't believe that.
Well, here comes the ball into the box. There's the arm round, it is. He's got it right. This time I think the referee, the arm was definitely round Lita.
Doyle's not going to take this one. It's going to be Stephen Hunt this time. Different penalty taker, and Reading hope for a different result. Can Hunt do it for Reading? No, he can't. Not even at the second attempt. Reading have missed 2 penalties.
I don't think Leroy Lita will be... Oh, he's going to retake it. Well, there's the save, and there's the follow-up.
This penalty is going to be retaken. The drama here at the Valley is unending. Talk about a spot of bother.
Did the goalkeeper move up his line? I think it's the assistant who's intervened again. Weaver can't believe it.
Andrew Sainsbury, the official on that side.
Here it comes. There's his movement. He's off the line before it's hit. Not a good penalty, you have to say. But how many times do you see goalkeepers come off the line and they're not? Has to be retaken.
Well, they do it nearly every time,
don't they, just?
I would suggest, and get away with it. But Lee Mason's having none of that.
Leroy Lita was desperate to take it, I'm sure. I think the first one he was, and he's asked if he could take this one, but prepared to Hunt. He's got the bottle to take it again.
He's showing a lot of guts, but the pressure's on him, really, to score, and he's done it this time. Great character from Stephen Hunt, and Reading are level, but there is uproar here at the Valley. The debate's going on around the ground about some big decisions.
Well, you've got to give him credit. Cool as a cucumber this time. Although he takes his time this time, places it rather than going down the middle. Well, there's all sorts of hullabaloo going on out there, and it's understandable.
Bouazza's been booked. This is part of the respect campaign for going over to the linesman and waving at him and berating him for that decision.
I know there's got to be respect, of course there has, but as a player out there in this atmosphere, you just can't stand there like a robot and accept things you don't think are just.
Well, this is turning into a quite astonishing match here at the Valley.
Well, it certainly looked like the assistant gave that decision.
A match of 3 penalty kicks so far, but we've seen 4 because that last one had to be retaken and it was put in the back of the net by Stephen Hunt. I'll tell you what, he did have some bottle to take that, didn't he? But the Charlton fans are incandescent with rage. There's no doubt that Weaver did move before it was taken, but our referee's going to do that with every goalkeeper this season. If so, fair enough.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. They have to do that. When you see incidents like that, we saw so many last season when goalkeepers were ridiculously far off the line and they were allowed to stand.
There are more chapters to write possibly here. Sam trying to bulldoze his way through. And Lee Mason's going to have to work to just keep the lid on things here because tempers are frayed out there.
They certainly are. I think you got that one right. It's a hot atmosphere out there. The sun's beating down and the referee's getting some real grief off the Charlton players and crowd at the moment.
One thing you can't accuse referee Lee Mason of today is ducking decisions.
No, not at all. He only gets one look at it. We know we get more than that. He has to make a decision on what he sees on that instant.
Varney. Bouazza wide, Gray waiting in the middle. Back to Grant Basie. That's a bit too long for everybody.
Well, get your breath now. Oh, there's the first penalty incident. Lovely ball in. And now you see Lita getting across. There's the arm. It drags him back. He might not have got it. Weaver does well. He thinks it's against him. It's not. And here's the penalty. It's not the best penalty. He's behind the line when it starts. And then he comes off as it's hit. He doesn't come as far as I've seen some goalkeepers come off. He's off the line. It's a good save. And he can't generate the power from the header.
The goalkeeper is supposed to stay on his line till the kick is taken. He can move sideways on his line.
But like you say, how many times you see goalkeepers fly in there and they're allowed to get away with it? As you say, if it's going to be all across the board, we don't mind. We all know where we stand.
You just wonder what next here, don't you? Bailey. Varney's trying to play a little dummy. Rosinia gets it away, and it's picked up here by Khalifa Cisse, who had more time than that. Convey. Into Akil. Getting a foot in. Can Charlton re-establish their lead? It's a big jolt for them, having gone 2-0 ahead in this game and looking to be on their way to the points. Now it's all up for grabs again.
I don't think Lively does this game justice, does it really?
Be an understatement, wouldn't it? Gray under a lot of pressure, play on as a referee, but it didn't ever get to Bouazza, so now he does give the free kick. That is good refereeing.
That is very good refereeing. He waited to see if the ball got there, clearly pulled back. He's got to keep his head. I wonder what he thinks about it all.
Well, he arrived feeling the effects of a bit of flu this morning. He's going to feel worse now.
He's got a bit of sunshine on his face. Should perk him up a little bit. He's seen his team play well in the first half, and now wants to see a response from them.
Chipped towards Gray. Does it get to Sam? Hunt has to give away a corner.
And I think now we've seen why referees have got the hardest job in football, along with their assistants. They got one view of everything, and that's it.
Defenders might be a little hesitant to make any kind of challenge in the box the way this game's gone so far. And the ball's going to be played into the danger area again there. Gray with a header. It's gone all the way back. And that's a disappointing cross in the end from Basie.
Just too much on it. Hudson with a header from the corner. Decent delivery. The best we've seen. And it's good defending again by Sonko. Denied Hudson the chance to head towards goal. I'll tell you what, watching football over the past decade or so, a number of times you shout when you see something in the box, pulling and tugging, and say, well, they should give a penalty for that. But when they do actually do it, the crowd go mad, we all question it.
Good strength there from Andy Gray. Here's Hassan Boutawakil. Away by Ingimarsson for Reading. Boutawakil. Sonko gets it away. Picked up by Kevin Doyle. He could rather do with a goal himself. He only got one in the last 20 games at the back end of last season on the final day. Still open to look open account this season. Lita can't quite get it. Hudson, very cool. Cool as you like. Bailey dispossessed Reading, pressing hard for the ball. They'll fancy themselves to go on and get all 3 points here now. absolutely engrossed in this one, as I'm sure you must be at home.
It's a cracker.
One of the best games I saw all last season was right here on this ground when Wolves won 3-2 here. An extraordinary match then. They won with almost the last kickers, I seem to remember.
Was
offside.
Disappointed with that. It was the furthest away, can see right across the line. It was disappointing when you give an offside for that. He applauds the ball, and so he should.
Basie did well winning the header. Out forward by Harper. Got involved in a little bit of argy-bargy. Oh, and then Bailey had a go at Harper off the ball there. I think the referee saw that. Watched that one. It's a bit of a running battle, I think. Varney. Whoa, good effort. Tipped over the bar by Hanneman.
Well, full of confidence there. Jinks inside. Unleashes one, and that is a good save. Did it get a deflection? It does get a deflection. And that makes it an even better save. Just a little jink. There's the shot, there's the deflection, and that's going to dip in. He's looked bright, hasn't he, Varney?
I'm sure Alan Pardew's very happy with Charlton's attacking work. Can they come up with another one? Hanneman, great punch with lots of distance on it. To Wakil, difficult to keep in play, and it wasn't kept in play.
Didn't need to play that. He had Bailey alongside him. And Basie up to the extravagant.
Good header that. Kebe feeding it wide for Doyle. Free kick goes the way of Reading.
A little bit susceptible at times, Basie at left back.
Inge Marsson's come forward from the back. Showing great character, Reading, to bite back in this fixture. Hunt curling, and it's a corner kick off Basie's head.
He has to get his head on this. Whipped him beautifully by Hunt. And there you see Lita going in behind. Take no chances there.
The left back who actually scored for Charlton on the last day of last season from defence against Coventry. Here's the Reading corner kick. Bit of pressure from them at the moment. Kebe was looking to play it in. Oh, and then Cisse's effort.
Oh, the technique was spot on there. Difficult. It comes out to him. Got a lot of space, slightly behind him. Gets right over the top and keeps it down.
It looked to be on its way, didn't it, too? Harper with the corner for Reading. Kebe looked to flick it on, but only succeeded in knocking it out of play.
Well, there's the man who's lit up this place today. There's Hunt's first penalty. You see Weaver behind the line, sprints off it a little bit. There's the connection. There's his position. And here's the second one. Look at his position. It could be exactly the same. He practices that in training, I'm sure. That's his starting position. He's got away with it before. One went in, one didn't.
But on the second one, the advantage is always with the attacking side. If they score and the goalkeeper's come off his line, it's just given.
Yeah, always will be.
And that's the law of the game. Here's Bouazza.
Is that another grey area of a great game of football?
Bailey here. Inge Marsson. There's no telling which way this one's going to twist next. 13 away defeats really cost Reading last season. And you can Conceded 66 goals as well, only Derby worse. 2 today, the first ones they've conceded this season in the league. Convey, the American winger, gets the break of the ball, takes the most of it as well. Ball towards the back post, away by Basie.
Good positioning by Basie there. Could have got sucked in across and didn't. Out of the danger.
Kebe, Khalifa Cisse. Here's S.Hunt. Good looking ball in. Neither Lita nor Kebe could get ahead to it. Varney chopped down by Sonko. Is he going to get a yellow for that? The referee's thinking about it, and he's thought about it, and he's going to decide, yep, yellow.
Yeah, I think he deserved a yellow as well. It was a little bit premeditated. Centre-halves always like to dump a striker on the backside there, in and around the halfway line. And here comes the ball towards the ball well. Varney takes it away, and Sonko straight through the back of him. Knew exactly what he was doing. Gray.
Every time there's any contact whatsoever in the box now, the crowd are screaming for a penalty.
Well, as a player, you're twitching all over the place, aren't you? Thinking, well, any slight contact here, I'm in trouble. I was always told it's the safest place on the pitch. Get in there and you'll get a penalty, and we've seen exactly that this afternoon.
Hudson launches this one forward towards Lloyd Sam. Into Akil to Varney. Bailey. Good ball. Nice football that. Varney nearly gets on the end of it, goes down in the box. Referee takes a look, says no this time. Sam. Varney with a header. Oh, terrific goal. Wonderful goal from Luke Varney. 3-2 Charlton.
This is a terrific header. It's slightly behind him, and again we've talked about generating power, and he certainly generated power with that one. The flu's got away now for the manager. Bounces loose here, not the best clearance, you have to say, but it's put back in the right area. Look how behind it is there, just slightly, and look how far he is out here near the penalty box, similar to Sonko, and he generates as much power and just puts it back to where it come from. Terrific textbook header. We've seen 2 in this match of the highest quality, and the flu has suddenly disappeared.
Really, really fine goal from Luke Varney to underline the potential he has.
It's the quality of the ball from Sam as well. Don't try and do too much, just put it in the right area, don't overdo it, and let the strikers do the rest, and he certainly did that. It was a long way out as well, and there wasn't as much pace as the one Sonko put in from the free kick.
Convoy plays it in. Oh, the referee was fouled surely there by Leiter in mid-air. Weaver. He's gone down.
I think somebody feels like fouling the referee. I don't know about that.
Certainly been the man on the spot today, Lee Mason.
That goal has come against the run of the play, hasn't it? Reading looked to be the dominant force.
Such trouble winning at home last season at the end. Charlton, can they hold on to their lead this time?
Well, as good a goalkeeper as Hanneman is, there's nothing he could do with that. Same with Weaver, both giants of goalkeepers, but those 2 headers, when you look at the position of them and the balls that were put in there, and the quality they had to achieve to put the ball where they did with the headers, brilliant. Youngsters watch that and try and replicate.
Convey. Kebe couldn't direct it goalwards. Good move from Reading though. And well played by Sam to nick it away. He's penalised. Of course, Reading were involved in 2 of the most amazing games played in the Premier League last season. That 7-4 defeat at Portsmouth, and then a 6-4 defeat at Tottenham.
What is he thinking there, Steve Coppell? He's thinking, that ball was put in my box and I've got Sonko and Ingy Marson there. And Luke Varney beat them both and got a header and put my team behind.
It was a clever header, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a terrific header. He didn't try and overdo it.
Ingy Marson putting an awful lot of pressure on Andy Gray. He's very strong up there, though.
He does hold the ball well, but that was a foul for me. I've seen penalties given in the game, and it's rather soft, and it was all round in there.
Lloyd Sound. Ball to back post. Lovely ball, and that's for Bouazza. Flag stays down. Reading appeal for offside, but Hammer Bouazza, with his first goal for nearly a year, makes it 4-2 here to Charlton, who are flying now.
Well, the quality of the finishing has been absolutely tremendous. Lovely reverse ball. Look at this ball in. There it comes. He's not offside. Waits, and he still has a lot to do there. It's a lovely ball, floated to the far post. It gets sucked across. It's not offside. The arm went up. We can see it's not. Delivery spot on, quality, absolutely top draw. Magnificent finish. Really is.
It was a goal made in Morocco by Mutawakil, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely superb.
Bobby Convey's going off. And they're going to introduce Noel Hunt. This is Stephen Hunt's younger brother. He scored in the Scottish League Cup final for Dundee United against Rangers last season. He was Dundee United's top scorer with 18 in 44 games last season. And a little dip into the transfer market. Reading didn't make many in the summer. Cost £600,000. Can he change things a bit here, because they need a couple of goals?
It's a strange game, isn't it? You thought Reading getting the goal just before half-time, came out on top, got back in the game, and you think they're going to go on and win it. Charlton all of a sudden come back with two fantastic goals.
Well, I heard Alan Pardew say pre-season that Charlton might just have slipped under most experts' radar, not really included in most of the pre-season talk as Harper drives one wide about who might go up from this division, but they've looked half useful here, Charlton, haven't they today?
Harper has a good chance here. Not his speciality, goal scoring, but it is a good opportunity. Rather snatched at it. But I think they've gone under the radar because they had such a poor season last season. It's a youngish side, new players, fresh faces, and people will certainly take note of this side now, believe me.
Here's Varney, who looks a threat. Could this be number 5? Hanneman stops him. Still might be something. Lita with the header. And away by Sonko, who is the man in the right place at the right time for Reading there again.
Well, again, Varney gets into the right areas. Bouazza nearly finished it off.
Kebe, wide.
Well, again, end to end, another half chance. He's had a couple of those in this match so far, Kebe. Comes straight from the other end, rather snatches it, scuffs it across the goal. And hit the target from there, but it could have been 5-2 down before that happened.
Well, they've had a couple of chances to get back into it again since it became 4-2.
Well, Harper had the half chance, scuffed that one, and then Kebe exactly the same, scuffed it across the face. To at least test the goalkeeper.
It's been such a remarkable game that you wouldn't count any chickens about the result even now. Another Reading goal, and it could all be in the melting pot again. As it is Charlton, having lost the 2-goal advantage in this game, have now restored it.
And it's the quality of the goals. The header from Varney and the finish from Bouazza. Absolutely magnificent finishes.
Coming up on Sunday from the Premier League. Mark chooses Manchester City. Chance to see them at home to West Ham. That's 3:30. Sky Sports 1, HD1. Then Monday night, bank holiday night, Portsmouth against Manchester United from Fratton Park from 7:30. Same channels. But a real corker here in the Championship.
I must admit, I had a sneaky feeling Reading might come here and get something out of this game. Having not seen this Charlton side so far, and you've seen the Charlton of last season, is the expectation, but the performance has opened a lot of people's eyes. They've got to maintain it, they've got to get the consistency right, they'll know that.
Charlton's players found an instant remedy for their manager's flu. Bailey. Tenacious work from him. Bouazza, he's quick, he's going to have to work. And not even with the help of the corner flag can he keep it in.
Well, tenacity. You see it there in the centre of midfield.
Charlton may introduce Darren Ambrose shortly.
What, you got a very well balanced side. Two wide men. Holland's played his part in there with Bailey. They've been superb in the centre of midfield. There's just so much quality in the side.
This, I would suggest, is as well as Charlton fans have seen their side play in quite a while, bearing in mind how they faded last season.
You see the ball there, the crossfield ball. That's what two wingers give you, that ability.
Bouazza in there, Gray! Off the underside of the bar! Otherwise it would have been 5. Flag was up anyway. Goodness me.
Well, what a move again. I was just trying to say about when you've got two wide men, the crossfield ball. Absolutely superb yet again. Good delivery. He'll be pleased that the flag went up, I think, Andy Gray. We'll see if it was. Delivery's put in there and he's not offside when the ball's played. And he perhaps will be disappointed he didn't put that underneath the bar. But again, the move, the ability to switch the play to two different flanks is so good for a team. Well, there's the ball coming in. Jinked by Bouazza again. And there's the ball played. And he's onside.
By a yard.
Yeah. It's a decent header, but should have put it under the crossbar. As a striker in this team, this Charlton team with the two wide men, it's been a joy.
Another of the Cork City brigade, ex-Cork City brigade. Shane Long on now for Kevin Doyle, another striker, and they've got David Mooney. They brought this week, top scorer in the Irish League from Cork City for a reported £300,000, though officially undisclosed. Everything seems to be undisclosed now, doesn't it?
They like to keep things secretive, don't they, in this game of ours?
Holland started it all off for Charlton Athletic. It seems like several months ago now. So much has happened since. Inge Marson plays us in towards Lita Hudson. Made sure it never got there. Bailey. Time for Varney to chase. A really fine game, Luke Varney. It's been a great headache for the Reading defence.
He stretches them. He runs into those channels, and believe me, on a day like this, centre-halves do not like being dragged out of their comfort zones, and they have been. And Gray's played his part. It's good foil. Holds the ball up very well, allows Varney to go beyond.
Basie with the throw. Gray. Goes away by Sonko. It's getting very late, really, for Reading. They need 2 goals in just over 10 minutes now. Offside flag goes up in the end against Hammer Bouazza, who's had one of the finest matches I've seen him play in his career today.
He certainly has. He's given them a new dimension. A couple of times he's been offside on that left-hand side when he can see right across the pitch. That's a disappointing aspect, but apart from that, he has delivered quality.
And Fulham bought him for £4 million a year ago, and it never really worked out for him. But here's Long for Reading. Play deep towards Lita. Oh, and I tell you what, Mutawakil did some good work there.
Really good defending at the far post. Reading not finished yet. Decent ball put in, and look at this for defending. Under intense pressure from Lita.
Out of play by Cisse. I just wonder whether one factor in the Reading performance here is they've had half this team away on international duty all week. Some in Africa, some in Oslo with Ireland. Doesn't help, does it?
It doesn't help, but it's early in the season, isn't it? So it makes it a little bit better. They should be fit enough to overcome things like that. It's later in the season.
I think managers hate these pre-season or early season international friendlies, don't they? Hunt battles away well. It's Noel Hunt playing it.
Akil again, covering himself in glory. Saw the danger. He looks a real player, a real find at right back.
This is a performance by Charlton that might send one or two reverberations around the championship, but they're not there yet. Reading with a throw, and if they can find a goal now, they could set up a really big finish here. Sam getting a standing ovation from, well, most of the fans anyway. The Charlton supporters for a silky display on the right, especially in the first half. And then comes Darren Ambrose, a survivor from Charlton's Premier League days, who's come back from a hip operation in April and a groin injury early this season. Just a pair of fresher legs really there for Charlton. They've got to defend this first. Harper. Sonko was forward again from the back, which means that he's missing from the defence at the moment. Flag goes up frustratingly for Charlton against Bouazza on the far side, which if he was offside, it was a bit on the careless side.
Well, that's 3 times he's done that this second half. And it is careless. He's got to learn to look across the line.
Hudson gets it away for Charlton Athletic, who've nearly made it 5, and they've got something on here. It's going to be a free kick. I'll tell you what, Sonko, he's in trouble. He's already had one. He's gone. Red card. Maybe that number 31 isn't quite so lucky after all for him.
Well, when I saw the ball just break away, I thought, if he gets this wrong, he's in big trouble. And so it proved. Unfortunately, it's for him. Here you see, Bouazza just gets there and he goes through. There's the referee's view. Again, Bouazza just gets the toe end. He lunges in. Not a great deal of contact, but you can't lunge in like that when you're on a yellow card.
Another change coming up for Reading. Alex Pearce, a 19-year-old Scottish defender. And it's Leroy Lita who's going to come off.
Substitution for Reading, replacing number 8, Leroy Lita is number 26, Alex Pearce.
Looks like Pearce is going to go up front as an emergency striker. He's gone back to his defensive role now. Flag is up here, and the play will have to be pulled back. Just over 5 minutes remaining. 4-2 to Charlton. Hunt. Bailey. Typically tenacious work from him. He's put in a good 90 minutes work, or getting on for 90 anyway on his home debut.
I think a lot of the Charlton players out. It's difficult to pick any one man out. Varney's been outstanding up front with Gray. Bailey and Holland in midfield.
Darren Ambrose with the header. Here is Pearce, the young defender. Long. Harper. Nicely worked. Kebe. Noel Hunt off the underside of the bar. Can you believe that? Still might be something. Long again. Blocked. And Charlton are getting a free kick at the end of it all.
Well, we said Reading weren't finished. Yeah, here's why. Good build-up. Decent delivery. Fabulous header. Slightly behind. Weaver beaten all ends up, and there's the handball. Decent block. They didn't know it was the handball. And he just come on, and it's a decent header.
Noel Hunt's already scored for Reading in the League Cup. And that would have sent the nerves jangling around the valley. Just a little, he'd made it 4-3 there.
Well, you have to say, again, so early in the season, fantastic advert for the Championship. It's been a sparkling game. And it really has had everything, hasn't it?
It's a game of 3 penalties, 6 goals. One of those penalties was missed. Another was retaken before it counted. Just feel sorry for those reporters who've only got about 4 paragraphs to report this in some of the papers tomorrow.
Deserves more than that, doesn't it?
But I think all the signs are that this is going to be an unpredictable division again this year. Harper playing it through. Shane Long pulls it back. Great ball. Noel Hunt! Deflected by Mutawakil behind for a corner just as well. He's looked dangerous since he came on, Noel Hunt.
Well, again, they get down that right-hand side. It's a decent pullback and just gets the deflection, but it's too easy. They're defending too deep at the moment, Charlton.
Reading still live in hope, as late as it is. Flicked on, Kevy. Pearce is up here from the back, the defender. Back into the danger zone. It's a great ball, as it turns out. Noel Hunt lays it back, and Long, given half a chance, puts it wide.
Well, he's caused havoc since he came on, Hunt, hasn't he? He's been involved in nearly everything. It's been good from Reading. Decent flick on. He chases it down. And it looks like he's going through to the keeper. Just lays it back. It's a poor attempt. Comes to him a bit quickly. Snatches at it.
Off comes Mutawakil, but I think it's pretty much a certainty that he'll keep that right-back position that he won off Semedo today. A lot of eye-catching work from him.
It's all about people coming in and taking the chance, isn't it? Makes the manager's job rather difficult. What managers like that difficulty, where there's a lot of competition for places.
Here comes Semedo, 23-year-old Portuguese, who can play in defence or, if needs be, as a holding midfield player. Charlton are nearly there. 2-goal cushion.
He's played a vital part, I think. Read the line really well, Varney.
Noel Hunt may get a yellow card for that. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. He has got that yellow card.
Well, he has been involved in most things that have happened in the last 10 or so minutes. Hit the bar, now gets a yellow card. It was a lunge, a wild lunge, right in front of the assistant. No questions about a yellow card there.
Can Charlton top off what's been a great day for them? 4 minutes of added time. Charlton will have a good-looking start of 6 points from 9 by the look of things. Gray does well. Ambrose is there, he can't quite reach it on the back post.
It's good defending by Hunt. Made it really difficult.
The two brothers doing well there, the Hunt brothers, and Stephen Hunt was caught a bit late there. They're going to get a free kick for that. Caught by Ambrose. And Stephen scored with a retaken penalty, which he had the guts to take a second time. And the first one had been saved. His brothers hit the underside of the bar, and that's about 1/100th of the story at the Valley. What a day here. Oh, and this time it's Cisse. Seems to be a game of about 100 chances.
It's just end to end, isn't it? There's nothing in midfield at the moment.
That will be the one downside for Charlton, how much Reading have created, because this could have been almost anything today, couldn't it?
It certainly could. You've got to give them credit, Reading. Seemingly down and out 4-2. They've carried on. They kept doing the right things, the basics well.
Ambrose's ball is cut out by Pearce. If there's a better game in the Championship than this season, I'd like to see it. There might be too.
With as much incident. We've had 6 goals, but it doesn't tell the whole story, does it?
He begins to. Cisse. Rosinia. Not long easy for Mark Hudson. This, by the way, is the referee's first game of the season. He certainly started with a bang.
Yes, we could say that. I'm not sure if he's a popular chap as he goes off the pitch, but again, he's got to play it as he sees it.
Pearce wins the header for Reading. Charlton are going to leapfrog Reading in the embryonic Championship table, which, of course, there are vast volcanic changes with every set of results at this stage. Settled down. Don't really believe the table till about October, I'd say.
Been some statements from a number of teams so far. I know it's early in the season. It's like Preston, Coventry.
Yep. It's a question of sustaining it, isn't it?
And that's what Pardew will be telling his team.
Stephen Hunt gets it away. Reading haven't really coped with the Gray-Varney partnership for Charlton today. Not really. That's the big sign of encouragement, the way those two have dovetailed and caused so many problems.
Definitely. The movement's been excellent.
Nice little triangle. Stephen Hunt. It's a bit congested. Can he find room to get across him? It is a corner kick, is it? Yeah. Charlton complain. The whistle goes, though. Lee Mason giving 3 penalties, ordering one to be retaken. The old buddies, Messrs. Pardew and Coppell, shake hands. But it's been a game of unending drama here. And Luke Varney's 3rd goal for Charlton was maybe the key moment to re-establish their control. They've beaten Reading here in a stormer by 4-2.
What a game that was. 3 points then to Charlton, 4 goals for Charlton, and that means on goals scored they now take over at the top of the Coca-Cola Championship, with of course the rest of the programme to play this afternoon. Reading 10th. And the rest of the programme includes another game live on Sky Sports. Plymouth against Swansea, 5:15. Sky Sports 1 and HD1. More of the same, please, from Home Park. Tomorrow it's in the Premier League. Manchester City against West Ham, 3:30. Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And on Bank Holiday Monday, Portsmouth against Manchester United, 7:30. Sky Sports 1 and HD1. A whirlwind of a game at the Valley. It could have been any result, any score virtually. But thanks to two fantastic second-half goals, Charlton take it 4-2. Furious game at the Valley. Matt Holland made it 1-0 to Charlton. Andy Gray from the penalty spot, 2-0 to Charlton. Reading pulled it back. Sonko header, 2-1. And in the second half, S.Hunt, 2-2, a twice taken penalty. But then Charlton, Luke Varney and Bouazza made it 4-2. Two of Charlton's goal scorers, Luke Varney and Matt Holland, are with Greg Whelan now.
Well, Luke, a superb, drama-packed game to watch. What was it like to play in and win in the way you did?
Obviously, it's an excellent performance for the lads. We've worked hard this week on keeping Reading quiet, and obviously on our behalf, we've worked really hard on attacking them and cutting their danger men off, and I think it's worked really well. It's a fantastic performance today from the lads, and I can't wait to get in the changing room. I bet the lads are buzzing.
I can imagine. For you personally, it was only the one goal in the previous 16 games. Tell us what went through your mind when you saw that header go in.
I was just delighted. Obviously, friends and family have given us a bit of stick about getting a goal. But I'm just delighted, really, for the team, and obviously for me to chip in and get a goal is just an added bonus. You ran in your celebration straight to the manager on the touchline. What was behind that? I just think he's put a lot of faith in me this year. He's sort of built me up to be sort of one of the main men, the strikers and that, and just really delighted to put my bit in for the team. Well, Matt, we'll bring you in here briefly. In a very, very eventful 90 minutes, you managed to score your first goal at the Valley for, what, 4 years or so? Special moment?
Yeah, is that how long it is it? No, it's a special moment. It got us off on the right foot. But like Luke said already, we were excellent today. I thought it was a terrific performance. From 1 to 11, we've worked our socks off. And that's what we've got to do week in, week out if we want to get promoted. And it was a good performance today. And there's a long way to go, but we've set a benchmark, I think. Well, congratulations to both of you, and Luke, you're also the Powerade man of the match, so Matt, if you do the honours for us, please. Yeah, Luke, fully deserved, mate. Congratulations, well done. Thanks, guys. Well done.
Well, that game just flew by, didn't it? 3 points to Charlton Athletic, early leaders today in the Coca-Cola Championship, and Graham Murty with me. I know you must be, you know, like the rest of your squad there, devastated by that, because it could have been any score, couldn't it? Any result.
We didn't know what was going to happen next, did we? I think ebb and flow was brilliant. There was commitment, there was tackles, there was lots of chances, and the neutral doesn't want any more. Obviously, it's not great for us, but we've got to pick ourselves up. Yeah, 1,000 things to look at in the second half, but let's look at just a few of the key things. And the goal you got back to 2-2 early in the second half. Yeah. Set you up, didn't it, really? Or we thought you might do. Well, we said at half-time we were picked up by scoring a goal just before half-time. This gives us another opportunity, you know.
Is that a bit harsh on Nicky Weaver there? I mean, letter of the law, he's off his line.
He is, but the key thing for me is look where he is after his movement stops. That's what's convinced the linesman there to give it, and he gave it straight away. There was no debating it, and but when you see the penalty that goes in, it's exactly the same.
It's just the same,
isn't it? It's exactly the same.
But they never retake. You can't retake a scored penalty, can you?
I feel for him. He made a really, really good save, but obviously from our point of view, it was something that got us back into the game and gave us a bit of belief.
Yeah, and you're back in the game then, and your spirits rose, didn't they?
I was bouncing around in here. It was a great game to watch. The atmosphere was fantastic, and it just lifted everyone. And I just thought we had a chance to go on and win the game.
But these two goals Charlton scored, this one first from Luke Varney, I mean, they're two great deliveries for a start, aren't they? Lloyd Sam gets this cross in.
Those are the defining principles for the goal. You know, both goals have been superb deliveries. But for me, we stop a little bit here because we're waiting for the referee to make a decision. When he doesn't, we've got to reassess and redefend, but it's a great ball in, and that's a fantastic header. Credit where it's due. He's put that in the one place Marcus couldn't get it.
Yeah, and the winning goal, another great cross. It says score, doesn't it? But actually, the skill involved in the volley is fantastic.
It's a great ball in. The key to it is it's early. It's before anyone can expect it. Here you go. Runs onto it first time, and that's a great ball. But that's not finished. That's not over and done with. He puts a great contact on it once again to get it past Marcus. But the two deliveries for the goals. Superb.
Actually side foots that, doesn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of people would have lashed at that.
Yeah.
But he showed a lot of class there.
It's not far off for Di Canio. Not far off.
It is far off. Di Canio was a little bit more special than that, but it's a great goal. Credit where it's due. You know, they've scored two good goals, but the amount of chances we had as well, second half, it could have ended up any score.
Absolutely right, Graham. Absolutely right. OK, let's hear from the Charlton manager, Alan Pardew. He's with Greg Whelan.
Alan, this was a game that you and your players were clearly desperate to win today. What tribute do you pay to them after that performance?
Oh, the players were outstanding today because, you know, as a team you sometimes suffer blows in games. The goal before half-time, the penalty decisions I thought were a bit harsh, the retake, it all seemed to work against us, and yet we wouldn't lie down, and that's the character you need if you're going to have a good charge at this league. And we bounced back well from setbacks today. I thought we were terrific. I was really pleased with the players today. They deserved it.
Let's just focus on one of those penalty awards. There was the one that brought them back into the game at 2-2 at the stage, the award, and the fact that it had to be retaken.
Well, I was bemused, to be honest. He said that Nicky Weaver come off his line, I think. But, you know, you can watch a million penalties and not see that. He'd already give 2 and then to retake. I don't know, it just seemed very strange and bizarre. And it was, you know, in some ways I'm glad it happened because the injustice ignited us. And we had a 10-minute period after there where we would have blown anyone away. Those 2 goals, and we hit the bar and threatened the goal. We were terrific today. If we could just take that week in, week out, we're going to have a chance.
In a nutshell, what could this result do for your season?
Well, it's important, you know, your home games, and we've won 2 now. Last year we struggled at home, and I think if we can keep doing that at home, keep getting the support we had today, then we'll be a threat, because away from home I always think we do well.
Alan, well done today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a real platform, isn't it, for Charlton? But they often say, Graham, you know, you learn more in defeat sometimes, particularly early season, about your team and how you're set up. Is that the case? Do you think that will happen for Reading?
I think it's too early to say. We've got to take stock. The manager doesn't like to come out and make any bold statements straight away. He likes to analyse and look at it and talk to the boys and get how they're feeling. So we'll just take our time and assess it later on, not get carried away about it too early. Eventful game for Ibrahima Sonko, wasn't it? Eventually getting sent off. He'll miss the Carling Cup game, but with you out as well, the defence is, you know, a bit threadbare now. It is, but with every setback comes an opportunity. Alex Pearce has come off the bench and he's a fantastic young player, so he maybe have an opportunity. Michael Dubry's coming back as well, so we have cover there. I just thought it was a little bit light, the sending off. I didn't think it warranted a yellow card, really. There wasn't a lot of contact there, but I think you just saw there a little bit of frustration from Ibrahima, and the referee made his decision, and fair play to the boys. We didn't actually argue it. We've worked really hard actually on restraining ourselves. Yeah. We're going to be like the manager, I think. We're going to seethe quietly below the surface. It's 2 years to the day exactly since Lee Mason sent Ibrahima Sonko off against Aston Villa. I know, and I played in that game. And it was another light one, but I can't criticise the referee too much. He was a brave man today. He stood up and made his decisions, and credit to him, he stood up and stood strong. It would have been easy to caught up in the emotion, because there was a few guys just stood outside the studio who would have lynched him early on, but he made his decisions. Respect. And yeah, you have to respect that. You know, it's not an easy job that he does, so we'll give him this one. Yeah, the fact that Charlton have won this game the way they have, it's a great game. It could have gone either way, but we expect you to be up there. I think that's fair. Do you now see Charlton also competing? As Matt Holland said, they've set their benchmark for their level of performance this season, and although people install us as favourites after one result, it's not going to be that easy. It's going to be difficult all the way through the season. There are many teams that think they can do that to us all year. So we've got to make sure that we have the character to deal with their expectations and deal with whatever threat they throw at us. But I thought Charlton was superb today. We just fell a little bit short, but there's still encouraging signs for us. Yeah. And we hope you're back soon. Got to do a whole pre-season, I suppose, now, haven't you? Yeah, our sports scientist is really looking forward to breaking me into tiny little pieces and building me up again. OK, Graham, all the best with that. Coming up for you on Sky Sports, looks like this. Plymouth against Swansea in the Coca-Cola Championship, 5:15, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And then you can have your say in the phone-in. You're on Sky Sports, 7:30 on Sky Sports 1 tonight. And don't forget football first, game of the day, and your match choice, 8:25, Sky Sports 1 this evening. Tomorrow, Manchester City against West Ham, 3:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And on Bank Holiday Monday, Portsmouth, Manchester United, 7:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. It's a really big thank you to Graham Murty. Thanks a lot, Graham, and get back as soon as you can to play for Reading again, their defence. It's been a fantastic game at the Valley, 4-2 to Charlton, and what a game, full of instant from all of us. Bye for now.
And it's so sad the way we hold our heads in Sport, news and views at skysports.com.